Hey guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. My name is Laura, for those of you that do not know, or those of you that maybe forgot because it's been a hot second since I've posted a video. I'm so sorry, but today I am back to do some book recommendations per you guys' request. I've been getting like an influx of people asking me for romance recs, to which I say I have about 5,000 videos on my channel with romance recs, and I'm sure you have not read all of them. I'll link a playlist down below of all of my recommendation videos. I'm sure there's guaranteed to be at least one book I've talked about that you have not read, but if that's not the case, if you really needed more books to read, today's video is for you. However, today I'm giving a little bit of a theme to the video, and that is to talk about my favorite crazy and taboo romance books. So I just feel like I've been getting into a lot of books lately that are just different from what I've read in the past, and a lot of them are a little controversial, a little taboo. So there's your warning for that. If you're not really open-minded when it comes to reading things that might be out of your comfort zone or might make you uncomfortable or might be too crazy, maybe this isn't the video for you and you can come back for my next recommendations video. But if you have an open mind, if you want to try something different, if you want to read something shocking and crazy and maybe a little bit weird and uncomfortable at first, but then it ends up being a really fun read, definitely stick around. Obviously these books aren't going to be for everybody, and that's totally okay. What's not okay is like coming for people and making fun of people for the kinds of books they read, because it's just not that deep. It's books, it's reading, it's for fun. If you don't like these books, that's totally fine. If you do, great. It doesn't matter that much. Like, I promise it doesn't matter that much in the grand scheme of things. They're just books. They're made up. They're fiction. It's fine. So if these aren't your cup of tea, that's cool, but you know, keep it to yourself. That's great. Okay, so I'm gonna get started and share some of these books with you guys. I've got quite the list, a lot of series, and a lot of stuff that I don't think I've ever talked about on my channel before, so I'm excited to get into it. The first book on my list might be the only one that I might have talked about on my channel. I can't quite remember. I've definitely talked about it on Twitter, but that is Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. This is a book that I read a few months ago, earlier this year, and I just absolutely fell in love with it, and I was kind of shocked because going in, I did not expect that at all. I just loved the characters in this book. It was such a good slow burn. This book is about a girl who's 19 years old and she falls for her boyfriend's dad. Which I know might sound crazy, might sound weird, but I promise, like, the circumstances of this book, when you're reading it, it's not as weird as it seems just like said, you know, like, oh yeah, she falls for her boyfriend's dad. There's a lot more going on. I don't want to spoil anything. Obviously, for all of these books, I'm just gonna kind of give you like a surface level entry, and if you think it's interesting, you can grab a hold and go look it up or go check out the book. I don't want to give away too much though with my explanations, but yeah, basically she falls for her boyfriend's dad. It's in like a very not weird way. Like, I'll admit some of these books, like, yeah, they're weird. This one, it sounds really weird, but I promise it's not that crazy. But I just loved this one. I loved the characters in it, and I thought it was such a good, again, slow burn. Obviously it takes a while for the romance to kind of happen, but what you get while you're waiting for the romance to happen is just really, really great, and I just loved it. I love Penelope Douglas's books. I've read a bunch of them, and this one's probably my favorite, but it's a really fun read. I highly recommend it. It's super fast paced. It's just one book, so it's really easy to get through. There's no series or anything like that. But yeah, I highly, highly recommend it. The next thing I'm going to be recommending is sort of like a duology. There's two books, but they both follow two different sets of couples. However, the books kind of intertwine and the couples cross over into each book. And that is The Truth About Heartbreak by B. Celeste. That's the first one. And then the second book is called The Truth About Tomorrow. I read these two books kind of on a whim. It was a recommendation from a friend, and I read them so fast. I like literally went through them so quick. The thing with these books, the first one is about a girl who falls for her brother's best friend, but the situation's like very different. She's been adopted and gone through a lot, and there's a lot going on in that book. There is cheating in that book, so if you're like highly against books with cheating, you'll hate this book because there's a lot of cheating in it. I have another book that there's a lot of cheating. I know some people like can't stand when there's cheating in books. Personally, like, you guys know, like, I like After by Anna Todd. Obviously it doesn't bother me that much, but in these books it doesn't bother me. I just have to tell myself like it's not real, like they're not hurting a real person, and then I'm okay, because obviously cheating in real life is not okay. But in books, you know, whatever, keep your opinion if you don't like it, if you like it. However, this book does have cheating, I'm just letting you know. But yeah, that's the first book. The second book, however, is the one that's kind of crazy, but I can't tell you I can't tell you what it's about because it would spoil the first book in a way. However, I'll tell you that it includes a really big age gap and another kind of taboo element to their relationship, but I don't want to tell you because it is kind of a spoiler. Just read the first book if that sounds interesting at all, and then get to the second one. I really liked both of them. I think the first one was my favorite just because I really loved the characters in it. The main girl is just so fabulous and I love her, and she's just the sweetest girl on the planet. So I really love the duology. I love both of the books. But yeah, if you want to know what that second book is about, I recommend the first one and then read the second one. But it is kind of crazy, so keep that in mind, but I do recommend them. They're really fast-paced, fun to read, and I think you guys will like them. The next book I'm going to be talking about is All Grown Up by V. Keelan. This is a book that I think I talked about in a video before that I was going to read it, and I did. It came out this year. You guys may or may not know, but I'm a huge fan of V. Keelan's romance books. I think they're absolutely phenomenal. They're always so well done, so well written. Her characters are fun and fresh and exciting, and her plots are always super intricate and have a lot of great and fun surprises along the way, and they just keep me so entertained. So if you guys are looking for a new romance author to just binge read, I recommend every single one of her books. Just saying. So you guys should check her out if you've not already. But this book was really, really fun. It was about a girl that dates somebody a lot younger than her. To put it kind of simply, the guy that she ends up with was kind of like a friend of her son's growing up. They basically had a beach house next to this other family, and he belonged to the other family. He's like older than her son, I think, but like enough that they would like hang out, whatever, when they were at their beach houses respectively. So they have kind of this history, but she's recently divorced and kind of looking for something fun, and she ends up in the wake of this guy that she knew when he was just really young, and now she's kind of older than him by a decent amount. He's like in his 20s, she's in her 30s, so it's not really weird in my opinion, but it was definitely a fun read, and I really enjoyed both of the characters in it. And again, I just am always blown away by V. Keelan's writing, so it was definitely a fun one. This is probably one of the more tame ones on like the taboo spectrum because it's not that crazy. It's just a little bit of an age gap, but I still wanted to recommend it just because I really love it. And it features an older woman with a younger guy, which I think all of the other books I'm recommending, except for one, feature an age gap with the guy being older and the girl being younger, which is preferable to me personally, but I still really liked this book and the other book I'm going to share with you guys next. But I highly recommend it. V. Keelan is just so great, and I think you guys are gonna love it. The next book I'm going to be talking about is actually a series, and I'm gonna recommend all three of the books that are currently out in the series so far, and that is called the Fallen Men series by Gianna Darling. The first book being called Lessons in Corruption. There's 3 books currently out in the series. However, I've heard that there's going to be like multiple, which I'm personally really excited about because I loved all of the 3 that are currently out. The first book in the series is the other one I was talking about, where there's an age gap with an older woman and a younger boy. However, this book also happens to be a teacher-student romance book, so if you're into that kind of taboo relationship, you'll probably enjoy this one. However, I did think that that aspect of their relationship was kind of dulled down compared to a lot of other teacher and student like books that I've read. I feel like that's usually like the centerfold of the book. However, it didn't feel that way because this series is more centered around this motorcycle club in this town, and the boy in this is the son of one of the lead guys in this motorcycle club. So it talks a lot about that, but I do think it was kind of tame for a teacher-student romance. So if you're kind of new to that genre, you want to try it out, you might like this book. But I do like the other 2 in the series as well. My camera really just died while I was mid-sentence. That was rude. Anyways, I forgot what I was saying, but basically the series is about like this family that's involved in this motorcycle club, and I know it sounds weird, but it's kind of fun and cool and like a different kind of romance. The first book is about the son, the third book is about the daughter, and the middle book is about their dad. The one with her dad is my personal favorite, and that one features an age gap as well, where he's with a younger girl. And then the third book is about the daughter, which I actually really love the third book too. The third and the second might actually be tied for me. But that one is really, really good too. Really fun. I think this series is like the perfect amount of a little crazy, but also just like really good romance. And I just really enjoyed it. I thought it was fast paced, it was easy to read, and it was a little something extra on top of being a romance. It had a lot of good like action-y elements as well. So if you're looking for something like that, I think you'll definitely like it. And yeah, I really recommend all three of the books though, and I'm very excited for the rest that's coming out. It's always fun when there's more to look forward to. However, it does drive me crazy when it's not out yet, you know what I mean? But I really recommend them regardless. The next series might just be my favorite of all of the recs I'm giving you guys today. However, it might also be the most taboo and the most like a little bit crazy and off-putting. However, I loved this series so much. I got so emotionally attached to the characters, and I think it's because it's a series that's actually following just one couple. And when you're reading multiple books from the perspective of one person and their experience, you get so attached to them. So I think that's what happened with this book. But regardless, the series is the Off Balance series by Lucia Franco. There's currently 3 books out and there's 2 coming. So I will warn you right now, the third book ends on a cliffhanger. They all end on a cliffhanger, the first, second, and third. The fourth one is coming out in November, and I'm sure that one's gonna end on a cliffhanger too. But she is good about getting books out fast, so that's at least a good thing. However, I'm like sitting here in anticipation, literally like chomping at the bit, like waiting for this next book. I'm like dying basically. But this series is about a girl who's a gymnast and has a relationship with her trainer, and it's taboo already in and of itself that she's having this relationship with her trainer. However, she's very young. In the first book, she's like really young, like underage young, which I know for a lot of people that could be like totally crossing a line. So if that's something that you're like definitely like, no, I can't read that, that's too crazy, that's too insane, I totally understand, and I felt like that, but I just read it anyway, and I just ended up loving it so much. And I don't know, it's weird, but like, I don't know, it's a book. I'm just telling myself it's fake, it's not real. I wouldn't condone it if it was a real relationship, but because it's fake, it's fine. Is that bad? Is that like a really bad moral compass to go by? I don't know. But I just could not get enough of the characters in this book, Adriana and Kova. I just love them so much, and their relationship is so messy. It's so bad, honestly. Like, it reminds me of After in that sense of like their relationship is like nothing ever works. Like they can never be there for each other in the way that they need to be. And also this book has a lot of cheating in it, which again, if you're not for the cheating, this book all around just isn't for you. But yeah, basically the whole series so far has been like cheating. So that's fun, that's great, quirky. So yeah, this one's definitely like a lot, but if you're into something different and crazy and you don't really care, I recommend it. Check it out. I thought it was a fun read, and you know, at the end of the day, it's just a book, it's just words, like it doesn't really matter too much. So if you want something kind of fun and different and something that will definitely keep you on the edge of your seat, I highly recommend this series, and I want to talk about it with you guys, so go read it and then we can talk. Okay, and the last book that I'm going to be recommending is also part of a series, but I've only read the first one, and that is Torn by Carrie Ann Cole. This is another kind of crazy age gap book. I don't know what it is with me and all these age gap books. Like basically all of the books I've talked about have been age gap books. I have a problem. I don't know. But anyway, this book, it does have an age gap, so that's one thing. However, the crazy aspect of it all is that the girl, it's a younger girl and an older guy, and the guy has been around this girl like her whole entire life. Her dad and the guy that she has the relationship with grew up as best friends, and the guy got his girlfriend pregnant in high school and they raised her. That's the girl that you're seeing the perspective of the book from. Basically, she grows up and she ends up developing these feelings for her dad's friend who's been there her whole life, kind of like an uncle figure, which sounds so creepy and weird. He's not related to her in any way, but just the fact that he knew her when she was like little is kind of concerning and weird. But he doesn't have any of those feelings for her until she's like on the cusp of being 18 years old. So I don't think it's too weird, but it is a little weird. It's definitely weird. Okay, it's weird, but like I don't think it's super horrible. Like if you read the book, it explains it all. It's not as creepy as it sounds, I promise. Literally me recommending all these books, like I know they sound like kind of gross and weird, but like I promise they're good. Yeah, basically that's how it is. Are those dogs good? Can you hear that? But regardless, give them a chance if you want. I mean, obviously it's up to your discretion if you feel like you'll be uncomfortable by these books or if you'll think they're like fun and exciting like I do. So it's really just personal preference. So again, just letting you guys know, a heads up before you read any of these books, that they might be a little different than what you're used to, maybe a little weird, maybe like they're tame compared to what you're usually reading. In that case, give me some recommendations. Like, what's your craziest romance book you've read? But that's gonna be it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Oh my god, my battery's dying again. I'm gonna wrap this up really quick. I promise to have new videos out very, very soon. I have a lot of great ideas I'm going to be bringing on my channel regarding books and after and all that good stuff. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel down below. Make sure to follow me on all of my social medias, my Twitter, my Instagram at lovelylikelaura. But other than that, I will talk to you guys very, very soon in a new video, and I love you very much. Bye.